practice. Venus Wisdom on the Venus Day episode recorded on a Mars Day, and there is no answer other than, and I'm thankful to Catherine Urban for this inspiration for the video. And I'll begin with Catherine's Twitter's post, which was concerning Venus and Venus and Saturn squares. So, Venus and Saturn squares, according to Catherine Urban, is different in the fixed signs than in the mutable signs. For fixed signs, Saturn, that is challenges, boundaries, letting go, endings, and dedication, and durability. Venus, that is relation, connection, bringing things together. When they are squaring, then there can be criticism, challenges in relationships, and that can create hardships. And so the fixed signs, according to Urban, will tend to stick these challenges through. So to solve these conflicts, um, because they are fixed. So fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And as for the mutable signs, there's Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. They will tend to exercise other options, okay, as they are not necessarily, and I don't mean here necessarily cheating, but more like non-monogamy. And I was like, oh wow, this is a powerful insight. This is a powerful insight. You just gave me an idea for Venus Wisdom on the Venus Day episode. And why why was I inspired? Because non-monogamy wisdom is actually, if you think about this astrologically, the conflict doesn't go away when you're choosing another partner. Okay? Non-monogamy is not about avoiding relational challenges. Anybody who has been in contact with non-monogamy community, polyamorous community, um, alternative relationship commitment styles knows that it's like take a monogamous relationship and a monogamous marriage and double the relationship by the number, the efforts and the time and the dedication that you put in, double the number of even sexual partners that you have. This is non-monogamy. This is like woohoo reality check. Okay, reality check. And the reality check is now Venus is I think separating from the square to Saturn. And the reality check is that non-monogamy will not dissolve you from relational challenges. It'll just multiply them. And so, if an aspect plays in the sky, like Venus square Saturn, it should not alternate your commitment style. If your commitment style is non-monogamous, you have good reasons for that. If your commitment style is monogamous, you have good reasons for that. The mutability in the sense of, oh, let's exercise another option without being aware. And this is how astrology can be so centering as a practice. Okay, when you know about astrology, then you will know what is the weather. Venus is going to sextile, square, trine, in conjunct, oppose, in conjunct, trine, square, sextile, and then quintile, and so on and so forth, Saturn during her cycle. If you already know that, then whether you're a fixed sign or a mutable sign, you already know that this is the weather. It's okay to move from one relationship to another relationship. It's not a bad thing, okay? The mobility is important for us to progress in life. But mobility without wisdom and observation becomes just repetitiveness of something, of a cycle. And then you become fixed, but in a certain cycle um, of the same relationship being played out with various partners. And so what do we do? What do you do about this? What you do is actually rather simple. You check the chart. You check what is going on. If you're dating even multiple partners and there is a Venus square Saturn, the ways in which it can manifest, there can be a challenge, there can be arguments that are of a critical, okay, somebody has criticism to say, or you have criticism to say, and when both people are aware of this, then perhaps they can find a creative solution on how to go about this in terms of communication. Now Mercury is retrograde in Taurus, so Mercury is retrograde in Venus sign. This does give you an excellent opportunity to revise your communication skills. And astrology is one of our communication skills. It's a language. If I know that there is this certain angle in the sky right now, and knowing that there's this certain angle in the sky right now, I understand the happenings in my connection as a manifestation of this angle. I know that whatever relationship I will have, and however many relationships I will have at the same time, it will not remediate in itself the angle that is in the sky. So, with that wisdom, okay, Venus wisdom on the Venus day, you're also aware that this square will become a trine. Okay, this disharmonious, this discord will become a harmony. So many things you can do. You can wait this out, but not just wait this out. Write the points that concern you, and wait until Venus gets out of the square and meets the trine. And now it's time to discuss those things that troubled you. Now you find a different solution. There are even, I had a colleague who is a holistic health practitioner, and she used to have these workshops where people would manifest relationships and get her support. So she would help people with the mindset of many things. Relationships were one of them. And this is where I got, all these people are where I got my relationship wisdom. I'm still single. But it does help a lot of people. And it's also something that I'm reiterating to myself. And this thing is, she had a couple, I don't know if they were friends or not, and they were non-monogamous, but in a way that in certain times they would be monogamous, in certain times they would be non-monogamous. And so the relationship had to be stable enough to contain the non-monogamy, and they would both be sensitive enough to not have um, during certain periods where they needed to be there for each other and the relationship could not contain that. Of course, from the Metamor's perspective, this is extremely problematic when you talk about something more than a casual fling, um, but that, that is another issue. So that's one way, creative way to go about this. Sometimes we need more space, sometimes we need more togetherness. Another creative way to go about this is an understanding that you you take the monogamy style, you take alternating the monogamy style out of the question during these transits, and you save that, you come back to that on the trine. So exercising other options um, in this particular choice is out of the question until you get to the trine. And here you have to be a bit strategic, okay? This is where you practice Saturn. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to endure these challenges until we get to the trine, and then I'm going to see, is it something that I need to do? The other option is, of course, like Catherine Urban said, that you do practice the options without separating from from other people. And then you can notice if it is a repetitive pattern. Maybe you want to keep it in your relationship, depending on how do you practice the options. Um, and that can be more or less sustainable in terms of the metamors or other partners. And that can be a time where during the squares you do leave to practice the options. But if you choose this option, which if you're of the mutable sign you might be more tempted to do, you will just get Saturn Venus square double the metamors that you have. Okay, double the lovers that you have. So that means, let's say you date one person, you get to the struggle, you say, okay, let's both exercise our options and see, if we're not the best for each other, then it is best to leave, right? Exercise options. Now they are dating, two more people. You are dating one more person. Okay? The aspect is still playing out. So now you got you and the person you're dating. The person you're dating has got you and two other people. You have got the person you're dating and another person. And all of these playing out Venus square Saturn. Okay? Now the entire community, the poly community, is having various ranges of intensity of the same aspect. This is the actual reality of non-monogamous relationships. And I'm so grateful for Catherine Urban to point out the astrology of this transit and the difference between the fixed and the mutable, because it's something that I knew from non-monogamous communities, but I did not know to delineate that. Like I said, Jessica Leniado does relationships that are more casual or polyamorous, or the dating aspect of relationships, not just long term relationships, traditional seventh house, eighth house stuff, and that was an insight for me. So when you think about the hard aspects that Venus makes, that the ruler of your seventh house makes, or the ruler of your fifth, um, a rule of thumb is that the challenges in your current relationship or relationships are not satisfactory category or satisfactory arguments in favor of changing your commitment style. So choosing a commitment style is not because it's going to be easier with more or less people. Okay? Because sometimes a certain dynamic, let's say Venus Saturn is playing out, and it plays out within an overall network of 5 people in the poly group. So everybody's going to have their different perspective. And perhaps because you have more support system, then you can weather through this better. On the other hand, you are all dealing with this aspect at the same time. So if you're looking for someone who isn't dealing with this aspect, you can't find it on Earth. Um, from the monogamy perspective, you have this aspect. You only have one human being to tend to. However, this is your resilience structure. So you have a difficulty that comes up in your relationship, and this is your resilience structure. Okay? Right now, it's not that you are a community dealing with this together, and this is that you are two people dealing with that together. Are you more oriented? And this is something that I can, think about. Are you more oriented at being a community of people dealing with this all together? Are you more oriented in being a couple dealing with this all together? And even this does not solve my commitment question to myself, okay? it will likely help you. So if you're wondering or debating or thinking about your commitment style, it's very likely to help you. I am still not. I don't have an answer. I don't have an like. I mean, yeah. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Because there's also the aspect of desire and so on and so forth. But know that when you are having or practicing or exercising desire, still, it's not an escape from a current relationship. It may mean that you and your metamor deal with this aspect differently than you and your partner and your like if you are like hierarchical whatnot. So let's say you and the partner that you date consistently, and you and the metamor that is outside of the, let's say, nest or something. Um, so it can be that both of you are dealing differently with this aspect, and this is somehow helpful. But that's more or less the range of diversity that you're going to have around this topic. So that's just wisdom, Venus wisdom on Venus day. It's not a rule of thumb on how to deal with this aspect. Okay, Saturn is about critique in the best case, criticism, challenges, endings as well. Venus is about connections, values. So your grocery store list. What is your list of values that you have in connections? What is your grocery store list of what you want in connections? That can get a bit of an update at this time. And it can be, in some cases, a good case to not like note down what comes up during the square and see when you get to the trine how much of it is still relevant. Awareness of the astrological weather, because especially sometimes you are more fixed sign that is dating a more mutable sign, or you have both fixed and mutable. um, and we have a couple of relationship rulers. So you have your ascendant sun and moon, you have your fifth house lord, your seventh house lord, your Venus, your Jupiter, your Juno. All of them have placements. So you need to know where is all of them, where do they sit. Okay, I'll give you a concrete example. My ascendant is Pisces, so we have 1 point for mutable. This means my seventh house is also mutable as Virgo. Mercury, the ruler of my seventh and fourth, is in the second in Aries. This is cardinal. Okay, so cardinal and mutable. Venus is in Taurus, so fixed. Okay, Jupiter is in Capricorn, so cardinal. So two cardinal, one mutable. So two cardinal, two mutable. Like it's not calculated too much. Fifth house is Cancer with the moon in it. So the ruler of the fifth in the fifth, and that makes another cardinal. So three times cardinal. And I have Mars in Scorpio, which is fixed. Okay, so twice fixed, three times cardinal, and my ascendant in a mutable axis, which also means my seventh house is mutable, and that would make anybody who brings anything to my seventh house bringing it into a mutable sign. So I have everything, right, in a mixture, but with strong cardinal energy and strong fixed energy. So powerful cardinal, powerful fixed energy. Um, that is of the type of people that might try to sort something out, or to stick it through. And yeah, and my Jupiter is in a cardinal sign too. Yeah, so yeah, those are the things. So the current square of Venus and Saturn is in mutable signs. Our tendency might be, according to Catherine Orban, to practice the options, especially if you are mutable, your strong mutable energy. And what you need to keep in mind, the wisdom is that this aspect is relevant all across the board. And practicing, exercising your options will not necessarily yield to the relief of the crisis that you're seeking to sort out, but sometimes this is exactly what is needed. Okay, you see how a couple of people are dealing with this aspect, and then you learn, which is what happens in community type relational um, commitment styles. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful. I will release it on a Friday, so you get a bit of a chance to watch my other videos. And thank you so much, Catherine Orban, for this wisdom. So you can watch Catherine Orban on Twitter. You can watch her uh, astrology YouTube channel, and she has a series called The Family Astrologer, which is a great series, very concise. So for those who don't like to watch too long of videos, she makes relatively short, like less than 20 minutes videos about family astrology that are fascinating and are a must watch if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So thank you so much. I'm here doing planetary blessings and all kinds of videos, and I'm here on this channel. You can subscribe to me if you want to donate to my channel or integrate donation to my channel in your planetary charity. This is possible. I have email on PayPal. It is made to love magic, like the song by Nick Drake, made to love magic 1 strudel gmail.com. On PayPal, I still need to sort out my accounting, so I still need to sort out how will I give you receipt and how will I pay my taxes. But this is one option that you can deliver support in a way that can contribute you. So because I'm doing astrology videos, you can donate it as Mercury charity. Because it's also teachings or religious stuff, you can do it as Jupiter charity. Because I'm also a woman, it can be Venus charity. If any of my planets is in your 12th house, it can be 12th house charity, and so on and so forth. And that is one way we can both benefit from the process. Very important. No donation is needed to gain benefit from my videos in general and from my blessings of the planetary entities. Okay, for my spiritual practice, you do not have to pay anything to gain benefit from that. Okay, that's very clear to me and very important for me at the click to say. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and I was Shirley with Spirit of Matter, and this is for Venus Wisdom on a Venus Day, which I will release this Friday, I believe. And thank you very much. Bye bye.